There we go. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, it's Ms. Steph. Welcome to Live with Ms. Steph. I am Stephanie E. Farmer, founder and executive director of Triple F Empowerment Inc. I'm a former laboratory scientist and turned executive director of a nonprofit that I founded. Folks, let's hop right in. First things first, I promised information about Summer Science Club 2025. Y'all, Summer Science Club is happening. We are getting ready to do open registration. Open registration. We are going to advertise publicly. Okay. So for a few weeks, we have had pre-registration going on for families that have been returning. Y'all, now it's time to make sure that whoever wants to join us with children ages 5 to 10, open registration is going to be for children ages 5 to 10. They must be, for open registration, they must be 5. They must be, I repeat, must be 5 before camp starts. They cannot turn 5 during camp. They must be 5 before camp starts, and they must still be 10, okay, during camp. That's for our the upper age limit. And during Summer Science Club 2025, we are going to do all of our field trips that we are known for and all the things that we are known for. So some of the things that we are known for: number one, for quality materials. We're also known for every child getting a camp t-shirt. We're also known for every child getting a lab notebook or folder and their own set of pencils and their own set of markers, fresh new markers that haven't been used by anybody else, their own set of crayons. That's what we do. That's how we do it. We have a STEAM immersion experience, 5 weeks of STEAM. Each week has its own STEAM principle that we focus on. So that being the first week, we focus on the quote unquote science, and we define that for them and they get to experience it. And so that's our foundation, right? Being that we are Ms. Steph Science Club. Okay. And then we move into the second week, we will move into the T in STEAM, being technology. During the third week, we will move into engineering, the E in STEAM. Fourth week, we will explore and be as creative as possible and learn the science behind some of our artwork by enjoying the arts and various types of arts. We had a fun time last summer, just to kind of give you a little tidbit of some of the things that we do. We do, yes, pretty heavy on the fine arts, because that's, making your own paint and all that type of stuff is something that aligns well with being scientists and artists at the same time. But we also had some fun doing, one of our staffers led everybody in a theater game for one of the science play times. And so, yes, we do explore all of the arts. We do hit on several types of art during that particular week, art week. And as a vocalist myself, I do kind of treat the kids. I sing towards the end of the week to them if they desire. And if they don't, I don't. But most of them usually do. That's kind of a special treat for towards the end of the arts week. And then finally, we close out with mathematics, the M in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And so we close out our fifth and final week of our Summer Science Club adventure with a dive into mathematics, the science and the study of numbers and how they relate to each other. That's a major thing. How do they relate to each other? And how can they describe something? And so that's our STEAM immersion, a very quick overview of what we do during our STEAM immersion Summer Science Club experience. And yes, open registration will begin tomorrow. And so tomorrow, February 28th, 2025, I will begin to openly share the link, the registration link. It is a Google form. The Google form is the start of the registration process for your young scientists. the fee for Summer Science Club, the reduced fee, as in the fee that we charge families, is, thank you for watching live with Ms. Steph. Come on in. The fee that we charge for Summer Science Club a week is $425 a week. 50 of those dollars are non-refundable, and they go towards your young person's registration process. All the things like ordering the shirts and ordering our high quality materials and registering and signing us up for the field trips and getting transportation locked in, all those things. That's what those funds go towards. And those funds are, as I said, non-refundable. The $50 per week this year, that is a bit of an adjustment from past years, but this year the deposit is a non-refundable $50 per week that you would like your child to attend. And sometimes families decide they want to sign their child up for 1 week, and other times families sign their child up for the whole arc of our STEAM experience, which is the science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. They get to walk all the way through it. That whole entire experience of 5 weeks being the equivalent, I will say it again, the equivalent of a year and a half of elementary school science. Yes, it is that fun, that intense, and that informative, and that in-depth of an experience, okay? And that's not just something that I say because it's my program, but it has been developed and cultivated, and I have run the numbers. I've done the analysis and said, okay, hey, what are you getting when you come to our program in the summer? That is what you're getting. Okay. And as I mentioned earlier on in the video, hi, I'm Ms. Steph, and I'm the founder and executive director of Triple F Empowerment, Inc. And as a former laboratory scientist, I do have a concept of what children need to know and what people need to know to be a scientist, to work in the lab, all the skill sets that they need, both the like the hard, actual, like solid content is like the stuff that we research and learn and see over the time periods and all that type of stuff. And then being artistic, being creative, being able to see a new way that something might be able to work and being able to do all those things. That is part of being a productive scientist. Yes. And so I do want to make it super clear that we do all of those things during our time at Ms. Steph Science Club over the Summer Science Club 2025. Once again, registration will be open for children who will be ages 5 to 10 during summer, okay? And our summer specifically is from August 7th. I keep saying that. From July 7th. There's something about August 7th that seems important to me. From July 7th all the way through August 8th. Now, August 7th is when we are going to be going on our Liberty Science Center field trip. And I've already started to extend invitations to our broader Science Club community. So if you're interested in joining us for Liberty Science Center, you can do that. All you have to do is just let me know. And that is one of the few kind of a la carte things that you can do during the summer. And so, yeah, Summer Science Club 2025, we are in full on preparation. And so getting in those registrations, we have started registrations. Registration requests have already started to come in. Folks have already started to look at that form and fill it out. So yes, you're going to want to get in. We do have limited space. Not, oh, we're trying to make it seem limited and, trying to make it seem important. No, genuinely. We have a limited amount of spots because we do have a boutique style program. We do want to make sure that our young people know that they are well cared for, and that as far as you as the adult in your scientist life, know that our program is run in such a way to where children do interact with me on a regular basis throughout the day. We have instruction. They get instruction from me. We do a lot of small group instruction. And again, like I said, there's limited spaces. As far as the field trips that your young person is going to experience, we will get to Central Park at least once. All right. And we like to explore that. And in addition to Liberty Science Center, we're also going to go to the aquarium this year. And so those are some of the field trips that we'll be going on. And of course, we do love the New York Hall of Science, and we'll be doing that. Typically, we go to New York Hall of Science for Technology Week. And again, each week has a theme. I've already gone over that. And now let's kind of move forward. Coming up very soon, right? Because we have the things that are going to happen in the summer, and do your registration, get all of that done. Please, please, please make sure you get that done. And now Summer Science Club. I've explained that. If you have more questions about it, we definitely will make sure that those questions get answered. I have a newsletter that's coming out on a weekly basis. Also, you can get a hold of me through our website, www.tfempowerment.org. Send us a message through there, or you can send me a message. For those of you who are subscribed on YouTube, hi, you're probably watching this video. But also folks who follow me on Instagram, MSSTEPH_TFE. That's the best way to get a hold of me on Instagram, and you can send me a DM if you so choose. Definitely follow. Instagram is one of the best ways to know what's happening on a daily basis. I post all kinds of things over there on Instagram, ideas for activities. And of course, yes, today we do have our science experiment that we will do. And updates. So science experiment videos for adults who are working with children of all ages, to give you tips and tricks to be able to manage the materials, where to source them, what concepts are taught via all the different activities that I demonstrate on my various conduits. We also have Facebook. And that's kind of in between YouTube and Instagram as far as frequency, and then also LinkedIn. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn, or you can follow our company page, Triple F Empowerment Inc., home of Ms. Steph Science Club. Once again, there are so many ways that you can get a hold of us, so many ways that you can get information on what Ms. Steph Science Club is doing here in the Harlem community. For those of you who are just learning about us today, we are based in Harlem, the village of Harlem, in Upper Manhattan, New York City. And so I am super glad that you're watching us today. Now, moving on to what we're doing this coming weekend, okay? Because we do things year round, okay? This coming weekend, we are doing our Saturday Science Club. And Saturday Science Club happens on first, second, and third Saturdays, unless there's a holiday. So as you can imagine, coming up to April, there is going to be only 2 Saturdays that we will have our Saturday Science Club, but there are actually 2 weekends in April. The other 2 weekends in April, we'll be doing some things. We've been invited to participate in several community events. And so, yeah, but back to March. First, second, and third Saturday, we are going to be at our regular place for children ages 5 to 10. Your young scientists ages 5 to 10, you'll fill out the paperwork for the Beacon program that is there. USAWA Beacon, shout out to them. They're fantastic. Okay. And we will get you registered, signed in, and you come right in, and the children have an amazing time. We do lots of science play, as I like to call it. And so I set up stations, and the children do different things. Each letter of STEAM is well represented every Saturday session. In fact, every class that I teach, every field trip that we go on, and every Saturday science session. Remember, Saturday Science Club is not a class. We don't do direct instruction there. We do lots of just let's explore. And we do a lot of supported independence, meaning so children are encouraged to try things. Activities are set up in ways to where they can pretty much do them themselves and play with different things. And then activities that need adult support, we have volunteers. And thank you so much to the volunteers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Also, Saturday Science Club is free of charge for participants. And that's one of the programs that's fully funded through grants and through our donations that we receive for our programming. Because yes, Ms. Steph Science Club is the program of Triple F Empowerment Inc., a 501c3 organization, also known as a IRS verified nonprofit. Okay, so yeah, Summer Science Club, get on it. If you want your kid to come, like really, you should have a conversation with me really, really soon. Okay, Saturday Science Club, everybody is most welcome. You just need to make sure that you RSVP with me. If your child does not regularly come, please let me know that you're coming, because we want to make sure that we have enough supplies. We always make sure that we have plenty of supplies for the children. We don't like it when things run out and all that type of stuff. We want to make sure that everybody has what they need to have a great time. And then, of course, community events that are coming up. We will be at a public facing event on April. What weekend is that? I want to say it's April. Let's look in the calendar, because I just want to make sure that I'm super. So that I could go live. I closed pretty much everything, so my calendar is not quite up and ready for me. But yes, so we have there's an event that I'm doing for a school on March 20th for that school. And then I have an event on April 19th, and I believe that's going to be a public facing event. And the event on April 26th is absolutely a public facing event. And so lots of information will be coming, flyers and all that type of stuff will be posted. Again, remember I said Instagram is like the best way to know what's happening today, right? Today. And on Instagram, I regularly talk to you about things that are getting ready to come up. Okay. And in May, we've got some things that are like already scheduled. Of course, Saturday Science Club. And then in June is full on. There's something almost every weekend in June. Okay. So lots of things, lots of ways to engage with us. I really encourage you to stay connected and stay up to date. Like I said, Instagram is one of the best ways to know exactly what's happening with us on a daily basis. I post on Instagram at least probably like twice a day. And that's MSTFE underscore. MSSTEPH underscore TFE. That's how to get a hold of me and do all the things over on Instagram. Really, really, really encourage you to follow over there. Most of my followers are over there on Instagram. Now, let's hop in, right? That's like enough news. Don't you feel like that's enough news? Let's go ahead and hop right in and see what we can do as far as our science activity. Yes. Welcome to Live with Ms. Steph. And now we're going to do the science portion of the Live with Ms. Steph. I'm going to tilt you down ever so slightly so that you can get a look at the materials. I do want you to still be able to see me. So let's make a few adjustments. Okay. This is, we're doing things in real time. Okay. So yeah. So what I have here, I have already put things together. I've already measured everything out, because the point is just so that you're able to see it. This activity is what I've been doing, or one of the things that I've been doing throughout the week with my upper elementary school students. And so let's go through the tips, right? Because I'm always talking to you all about like, how can you bring STEAM into your after school, into your early childhood center, into your classroom. If you're a classroom teacher and you're like, you know what, I really just want to do science myself. What can I do, Miss Steph? Like, how do I grab materials close by? Like, so I don't have to go like do all these, order special materials from I don't know where and how to get them, and they're expensive and all that type of stuff. This is why you follow me. For many a reason. But this one in particular is one of the main reasons to follow me, so that you can get lots of ideas tips and tricks and figure out like, okay, what does each thing teach? So let's go through the materials, okay? This, food coloring and water, that's it. No, it's not a special like mixture. Food coloring, water, easy to get. Soap, as you can tell, I prefer the clear soap because it does not change the reaction other than what soap would do to the reaction. So it doesn't have an impact on the color and all that type of stuff because I don't want to have any confusion when I'm working with my students, right? As far as, oh, the color change and maybe there's an additional chemical reaction. To make it less confusing for them, I choose to use clear soap. Same with my shaving cream. I'm using your most basic white shaving cream. This is this particular shaving cream is like off-brand shaving cream that I buy in bulk. Okay, this is not a special anything. You can, when you go source your materials in the store, you can go to your regular corner store or regular quote unquote drugstore. Again, wasn't I supposed to find out if that's what people who are not Gen Xers call like CVS or Walgreens or whatever. I don't even know if that's what it's called anymore. But that's what it's called when I was growing up. That's what my mother called it, and so I still call it that. But basically, CVS. Okay. Or Walgreens or Rite Aid or those types of places is what I'm talking about. Okay. Now to talk to you about the size of cup that I'm using, because I always tell y'all what size cup that I'm using. These are 12-ounce cups. This activity can be done in cups that are anywhere between 5 ounces and 16 ounces. So say like you need to grab the solo cups, which would be my least preferred, not to hate on that brand, but because those cups, like the red cups, they're not clear. And I can't see what's happening, right? Okay. So yeah, so we've got this. I prefer clear cups, just like I prefer regular, as plain as possible, either white or clear additives, or right, because it's easier for the children to see what's happening and to not get confused with why something has an impact. We don't want them to think that because it has a certain color that it does more than change the color. Okay. Additionally, the more different kinds of clear liquids, I had this conversation with you with as far as why I like to use baby oil now instead of like cooking oils, because those are yellow. The more clear liquids that you expose them to, the more they will be careful not to perceive anything that's a clear liquid as water, because it's not. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, food coloring and water. Soap, clear, regular soap, just dish soap is the preferred with that one. Plain old regular shaving cream. The next thing is the thing that you're going to need to either order or make an adjustment for. This powder is my baking soda and citric acid. I've got two things going on because I'm going to use this for in two ways, y'all. Okay. So citric acid. Okay. And baking soda. Yes, the citric acid that they put in food, because that's how I order it. I just ordered. Do I have the children eat it? Absolutely not. Never. Never. Okay. It's actually one of the big things in my class. Every once in a while in summer camp, we may kind of make something that might be edible. But in general, when I'm doing traveling science teacher or Saturday science club or like events outside, when I'm doing like, we don't do the edible stuff. Okay. Because there's just way too many challenges, let's just say, that come along with that. And so that's one of my teacher tips to you. I know sometimes, like now, if you're a classroom teacher and these are like you've got kids and you're not doing what I'm doing, where I'm traveling around and I've got different kids and I don't know folks' allergies and all that type of stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I would even consider attempting it in the summer, because I have all of their information, their safety information. I know like what makes them, what might make a child sick, right? But in general, I try to stay away from using things and saying it's edible. Now, on the other side hand, right? These, because I know that this is technically food, a child should not get like deathly sick. Should not get deathly sick if for some reason, say one of my little kids like put their hand in their mouth after touching this, right? And so that's why one of the things that when I'm doing shaving cream activities, by the way, typically I wouldn't do this with children who I'm just now meeting. You notice we're all the way in February, and I've been doing a bunch of shaving cream stuff this month, and also they're not adding that, right? Also with my upper elementary children, I never joke around about them, you know, when they're, oh, it looks like Cool Whip and all that type of stuff. But is it safe to eat? No. And then I have them tell me back, no, that's not safe to eat, all that type of stuff. So these are my tips and tricks. Right. So let's go ahead. Things that you can do. You can have them design, which is what I've been doing. Right. You can have them design an experiment that will show you the differences, right? They can predict whether or not these two things should have the same result. A soap on this reaction, and ideally it's a reaction you've done with them before, or maybe you've done a similar thing like we did the Alka-Seltzer a couple of weeks back, right? You see how that connects. Also shaving cream and water. We've been doing shaving cream and certain amounts of water and shaving cream and oil, all that type of stuff. You see how we're working through certain parts of my curriculum at this time. And so they can design. Me, if you're doing this with little kids, right? There are two ways. You can either add the powder or your food coloring and water in first. It really does matter, by the way. It does make a difference if you add the powder in first or if you add the water first. It matters, and I'll let y'all be able to find out and see how it matters. As you can see, we're already getting a reaction in the soap cup. The soap cup has already started to react because the baking soda and citric acid powder, those two powders combined, okay, all they need is some water, and you will start to get gas. You will start to produce gas, which is one of the indicators for whether or not you're having a chemical reaction, right? And do we know the three main indicators that we teach children? Do we know? Who knows? Yes. All right. So one, gas is produced, which is why we do this whole baking soda, vinegar whole thing with them. And I'll talk to you more about if you don't have citric acid, you switch it out you switch your liquid out. Instead of water, you use vinegar. You cannot do baking soda and water together and get the same thing we're going to get. That does not work. I say it that strongly because I know people actually genuinely don't know that. Okay? It's a whole nother reason why I do what I do. All right. Do. I'm holding this up. Why? So you can see it, not because you want the kids to hold it up. Absolutely not. And so one of the things is one of my instructions, keep it on the tray. Okay. That's one of the instructions. Sometimes they'll want to pick this up. Some of my students, my fifth graders, were able to pick this up. Most of them, you know your students. Some kids can do all that and some kids can't. Okay. Some kids will want to blow on it. So you may need to tell them, do not do that. That is entirely unsafe. Unless you have a bunch of students that have glasses and have safety wear on it, that is not okay. I'm telling you now, things that you don't want to encourage them to do and you don't want to do, okay? Because it will get in somebody's eye. And now you have soap soap, acid, and a base in somebody's eye? Absolutely not. Okay? Things we don't do. Here's something that I do, tip. I go around and I go like this really quick to all the cups. Why do I do that? To combine the materials. Because you don't want them stirring. They're not stirring it. You can eventually stir it. That can be like an extension. They're not, you see, there's no reason you don't have to stir. Okay. Yeah. So, similarities and differences. Compare and contrast. This is what we do in science all the time. Okay. Also, I'm getting ready to wrap this up. But after this reaction comes all the way up, spoiler, it will deflate. This cup will deflate sooner. Eventually, both cups deflate. But this one, the one with your soap in it, deflates a lot sooner. Okay? As in, by the end of class yesterday, this one was already deflated. Deflates a lot sooner than the one with the shaving cream in it. Why? Because explained by one of my brilliant scientists yesterday, because the shaving cream is already fluffy. And so that's why you're getting that. And shaving cream is supposed to be fluffy and stay fluffy for a long time, which is how we make puff paint. See other videos. Okay. But yeah, I don't want this video to be too long, and we're already a little bit over a half an hour. So yeah, that's it. So many variations. You can do so many variations of this. But just, yeah, it's here's one. Compare shaving cream to soap. You can do different amounts of any of the other things. I would not bother changing the amount of food coloring because no. But things that are actually active reagents in the reaction, yes. So the amount of the powder that you've mixed together, the amount of the liquid, and the amount of your soap. So if I'm going to change the amount of soap, both cups would need to be soap. I would just need to put in various amounts of soap, right? So this is where you get into your M, okay? This is why we're doing STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. I could really go into how each letter is represented here, but we would be on for a whole nother hour, okay? But that being said, thank you so much for watching live with Ms. Steph. Shaving cream versus soap. We had baking soda. The powder I used, again, I want to drive this home. The powder I used was a combination, a one-to-one combination of baking soda and citric acid. Both of them are relatively easy to source powders. I do usually get the citric acid online because I order everything in bulk, relatively speaking, because I work with, on average, 200 children a week. Okay? So yeah, thank you so much for watching live with Ms. Steph. If you don't have citric acid, you are going to need to use vinegar as your liquid so that you will actually get a reaction. If you try to just mix baking soda and water, it's not going to do all that. It may do a little something, but it's not going to do all that. Okay? All right. I'm so glad that you have joined me this afternoon on February 27th. February 27th, 2025. I think I may have said February 26th earlier today, but February 27th, earlier in the video, February 27th, 2025. I look forward to having you join me for a live or in person at one of the many events that we've got coming up during the spring and the summer. Check us out on Instagram and online via our website, www.tfempowerment.org. Have an absolutely wonderful day.